how to discern and ground your inner guidance in a time of heightened intuition, insight, and rapid change. Right now we're going through a process, if we're tuned in, where our intuition is bubbling with information. Whether it's information that we are able to translate or not, our systems are picking up a lot of information that's moving through on a lot of different dimensions and timelines. So it's important to be able to first discern what is for you and what is not for you. This requires one to be grounded within themselves, embodied within themselves, tuned into your organic heart frequency, connected. It also asks you to be aware of your shadow, your weaknesses, perceived weaknesses, because when you're aware of your limiting beliefs and core wounds, it's easier to notice when those surface and how to account for those. Not knowing about those or pretending like they don't exist because you think that they're bad leaves you susceptible to distortions that can come through those mindsets. So being able to discern is not only staying grounded and embodied within yourself, it's also being aware of what you're still working on and what your work still is, because that helps you be able to identify what is for you and what is not for you. So once you've tuned in and identified what is for you, then the next step is to be able to ground that inner guidance into your reality and to look at what it means. Like, is it an action to take? Is it an action not to take? What is it? Is it simply practicing being and being more comfortable in the space without trying to fill in the space, define the space, figure out the space, the do, the go? What is it? How do you take that knowledge, that wisdom of what you've realized around what is showing up within you and ground that into your reality? Discernment is a key word here. I think so much information is coming through. It can be really easy to personalize it all and get stuck in the it's me, it's mine, something's wrong with me's and the me's, when ultimately maybe it's not. Maybe it's the collectives. Maybe you're not even picking up a frequency that is of this dimension. Maybe it's not even from this timeline. So being able to have discernment asks you to have had some type of an experience that is moved from the subconscious to the conscious, of working with, being connected with different energies. Most everybody knows what water is. I'm just going to say most everybody because there may be someone that doesn't, but I'm just going to operate under the assumption that water is something that most of us have had an experience with. I'll use dirt, soil as the other one. Most of us have experienced soil to some degree. Okay, so we're clear on if we encounter water or soil, we're clear on the differences between those. We're able to discern very easily what is water, what is soil. If you've never experienced water and you've never experienced soil, it might be harder to be able to discern the difference between the two. And I know those are drastically two different things. So we might think, oh, that's silly. It'd be really easy to identify it. One's liquid, one's not, one's got a wetness to it, the other one doesn't. Well, so there's differences that really stand out that make it really obvious for us to be able to say that there's, even if we don't know what they are, there's clear differences there. Some things are a little bit more subtle though. Let's say you have water from one river and water from another river. It's all water, but it might not have the same makeup of components in it. And it may be harder for someone to discern the difference between the two. Sometimes things appear to be the same when they're not. Sometimes things appear to be different when they're actually the same. So discernment is relative to your experience. It's going to be easier to discern what is for you and what is not when you've had some type of connection and interaction with what is presenting. Tune in to the wisdom within your heart. Now, for some people, their hearts might be blocked. They might be not listening to their heart. That might be more in their head. And then that's for them in that moment to work on getting clear within their heart-brain coherence, to bring their energy field into more alignment so that they can be a presence within them to be able to identify what is for them or not. Because the alternative to that is you don't know what you want or what's for you. So you end up, like, I use this example. There's a style of a shirt you want and there's 10 different colors and you're standing there looking at all 10 of the colors and you can't decide which one you want. So you buy none of them or you buy all of them. It's like an all or nothing kind of mentality. That would be an example. When you're struggling to make decisions with something, it can be because this wiring is misfiring within you. So in this time when all of this information, all of this rapid change and insight is flowing through, it's easy to confuse messages. You hear one thing and interpret it one way, right? You make a fast reaction, a fast response to something and think that that is what it means, and perhaps completely miss the mark. So the way to do this, one, is to enter into a process of knowing yourself in a more profound, real, deeper way. The most spiritual thing you can do for yourself is know yourself. Two, understand clearly what your hang-ups are. Because when you know what your hang-ups are, it's easier to identify when one of those are coming to the surface, ready to be released, cleansed, transformed, versus when one of them is distorting things because of an unwillingness to look at it. And three, it's also really easy in this time to come across energies, frequencies that are just not conducive to your well-being. And if you find yourself coming across something that distorts your way of thinking, causes confusion, diminishes your joy or well-being in some way, it may not be for you. And it may be best just to walk on by. So the skill to learn is how to discern. And in order to do that, I have found that it has asked of me to be willing to look at things that maybe I wanted to reject or maybe at one point was afraid to look at. We have to be willing to see and observe what we see and observe without judgment or opinions. And maybe there are judgment and opinions there. And that might be the first step, is saying like, oh, there are judgments here. There are opinions here. Start with noticing what you notice. Be willing to look in the mirror. Be willing to face yourself, to face your reality, to face your truth, to deeply listen. And to learn to see the differences of what's presenting itself to you. to stay grounded in yourself enough, embodied, sitting within the seat of yourself enough to be able to identify the subtle levels of what throws you a little off balance or what promotes your balance and well-being. Because that which helps you build strength, gentleness, flexibility, and supports you in maintaining a constant flow of balance may be worth considering as being for you on this path. So how to discern and ground your inner guidance in a time of heightened intuition, insight, and rapid change is to stay present, to stay mindful, to observe inward, outward, and to be able to distinguish the subtle fluctuations of frequency shifts that are showing you something. Not all synchronicities are synchronicities. I think sometimes we're too fast to assume something is a synchronicity. We have to learn to identify what an actual synchronicity is versus a false signal. In this current time, there's a lot that's manipulating the perspective. So being able to see beyond those distortions can help you see when synchronicity is a divine synchronicity that is for you. Same thing with dreams. I think all of these dimensions that are beyond like the tangible, even the tangible, can be easily distorted at this current time. So we really have to have a way of calibrating that. And that really is our own divine, living, soul, breath-based, organic, sacred sense of knowing. There is this like spark, this breath, this tone within us that is humming or vibrating at a certain frequency that only this deep part of ourself knows. Nothing else, no one else can know it. And when you're aware of that tone within you, because you've done the work to find it, it becomes really easy to be able to identify when a synchronicity, when a dream, a perceived intuition, a life experience, a decision is for you or not. To get there is doing the deep inner work. And you've either been on the path or you're getting on the path now. Hopefully you've been on the path. But if not, there's no time like now to start the path of self-discovery. There's a lot of superficial spiritual noise floating around right now. And I think that it's also important to be able to get quiet enough to hear the voice of your own soul, the voice of your own being. It's that hum that I'm speaking to. And turning off the distractions, all the background noise, the podcasts that you leave on in the background while you're doing something else, these are all noise. Turn it all off. Get quiet and get still enough so that you can identify real spiritual guidance, insight, and truth versus some superficial temptation that's appealing to your ego and really leading you off stray, because things are really loud right now. But remember that the loudest noise may be an attempt to distract you from the clear, quiet, simple truth that lives within you. With this is being able to differentiate as well between the like wishful thinking, what the ego wants versus what is actually part of your divine soul mission here. And if you have not entered on a path of getting clear about the differences between those egoic desires, which have the potential to run you off course at this current time, this would be a good time to start considering what potential decisions, thoughts, directions in your life are coming from that type of a space versus the ones that are coming through that deep internal hum that lives within you. Look, it's really important to ground in emotionally, spiritually, physically, energetically, and grounding in is literally connecting your feet to the earth and finding that internal vertical alignment within you that allows you to have a clear flow of energy that moves through you. And once you've identified something that is part of that internal soul hum that is your truth guiding you, the last part is to identify what is being asked of you to ground that through you, through your expression, through your impression, through your presence, and be open to what that looks like. Because it may not look like what the ego wants it to look like. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and please also subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video.